The first mate and I recently took a repositioning cruise on the Carnival Venezia. It had been a while since we'd been on Carnival, and this was a great itinerary, so we thought we'd kind of do twofer. Get a great trip to New York City from Orlando, and then also give you a great review of the Carnival Venezia. We were on the Venezia for 14 days for a repositioning cruise from Orlando to New York. So, hey, great itinerary for sure. And in this video, I'm not going to go room by room, like every lounge, every place that you could spend time in, because one, I never find those videos very helpful. Two, we think it's fun that you explore the ship, and three, I don't want to spend my time videotaping a ship. But I hope, like, from this, you're going to learn from us, because the longer we were on the ship, the more we did like it. We didn't find out some things till the very end, and we're going to point out some of those best kept secrets. I also want to tell you that this is also not going to include the food, because I made a separate video about your food options available on the Venezia. And I'm only going to show you a little bit about the room, because we made a separate room tour as well. So hopefully this is broad enough that it gets you a good sense of what the ship is like. And between all three of those videos, you know whether this is an experience for you. So with all of that said, let's take our tour of the Carnival Venezia. Hi, we're the Cruise Port Captain Crew, exploring the world one port at a time. After more than 20 years of cruising, we've learned the best port days are usually the ones we've planned ourselves. Doing it on your own lets you explore deeper, save money, and truly make the most of every stop. Join us for port guides, travel tips, and cruise know-how to help you make every port day count. Check the video description for links to our favorite resources and tools that help us cruise smarter, and maybe they'll inspire your next adventure. Now on to the video. We disembarked from our home port, Port Carnival in Orlando, and I have to say, Carnival did an outstanding job at the port of getting us on this ship. And again, you can see from the decor that the Italian theme is really emphasized. We are going to our room on deck 2, which actually ended up being very handy, and I talk about that in the room video. But just I wanted to give you a sense of the coloring and the style and the decor. And once we hit the room, not only is the Italian theme emphasized, but Carnival, of course, is all about the fun ships. And just right from the beginning, they are encouraging you to have fun, choose fun, unpack and have fun. A little information about the ship itself. So the Costa, it was a Costa ship. Costa Cruise Lines, if you're not familiar with them, they are an Italian cruise line. And I have to say that we were skeptical because of that. The worst cruise we've ever been on, and this was over 10 years ago, was a Costa cruise in the Baltics. So the Baltic Sea, that was a fantastic itinerary. But at the time, the ship really was not it was a terrible experience. I wouldn't even say it was, like, diminish it. I usually hate to say terrible. So we were skeptical when we learned that this was a Costa ship, but it did move formally over to the Carnival brand in 2013. It's a part of the Venice class of ships, and Carnival calls this and its sister ship Carnival One Italian Style. And those two things did play throughout the ship experience. Again, this is kind of a more general overview of the ship, not going like deck by deck and not going by area, but it has 14 passenger decks. It has a 4,100 passengers, and it can be a little bit more if every room is to full occupancy, and about 1,400 plus crew members. So 5,000 people all together in this 14 deck operation, which of course some of those decks are just cabins. So I'll just kind of give you some of the highlights of the things that we enjoyed in the public areas that I think you will want to kind of know about, and the secrets that we wish we had known at the beginning of our 14-day cruise that took us to about day 11 before we really started enjoying the ship. This is the main Piazza San Marco. It is styled after the square. I believe it is in Venice. If it's not, put the comment below and let me know. You guys are always great about letting me know when I mess up information. This is the main interior area of the ship. It's only about 4 decks, as you can see, so that also gives you a sense of the ship itself. But most of the indoor major activities happen here. If you go to the white party, it's going to be here. So it is a little bit on the small side, but it's still it is really kind of the main place where people gather on the inside. These are the artworks that is throughout the ship, the coloring. This is the main boulevard to kind of get to the buffet area, the Lido marketplace. But again, you're going to see those pictures of Venice all around the ship, which is very, very nice because Venice, if you've been lucky enough to been there like we have, it's a great place to go. I'll give you into some of the things that we found. So this is the back pool, the Burano pool that is on the back of the ship. What we thought, this again, our experience is that the pools were small for the size of the ship. You really couldn't do more than kind of just sit in them. But we did think that a nice touch was that there were umbrellas. So we haven't seen that on many ships where the outdoor pools actually had umbrellas to make it more pleasant. And every pool had at least, well, I don't even know if that's true, but there were a couple of hot tubs back here, and there was one more hot tub. I'll show you where that is in a bit. This is the main Lido pool. Most of your activities are going to happen here. Again, it's kind of on the small side for the size of the ship, and the ship seemed kind of disjointed. Like there were lots of little tiny areas instead of one big long area. So maybe claustrophobic is not the right word, but that kind of sense of the areas were very small for a ship the size that it was. Also, night activities happen here at the Lido pool. So this is where that outdoor theater movie Under the Stars is. There is another outdoor area. This is for adults only, and it's a Serenity area. And there is no pool here, but it is very quiet. They kind of play more of the, like the bossa nova music. So it's much more serene. That's why they call it Serenity. Again, we found this kind of really late in the cruise. So stupid us, but hopefully you can find it. If you go there on a sunny day, this was a terrible day and it was near the end of the cruise. You want to get there early to save a seat because these are nicer chairs, nicer loungers. They do have hot tubs at the Serenity area, though, and what's nice is that the hot tubs run along the side of the ship so you can look out to the ocean while you are enjoying your beautiful time in the hot tub. They have lots of clamshell. I think those things are called. There's clamshell loungers, but again, if you want one, you got to get there early. This help. We're only here because it's the end of the cruise and we're trying to get some pictures for you. And also the weather was terrible. So everybody was inside and probably packing when we took these. Nice thing you will, as cruising in general, you can be as busy or as lazy as you want, but there's lots of outdoor recreation options for a ship of this size. There was a obstacle ropes course you can see above me here, mini golf, putt-putt golf, depending on where you are. And there was pickleball and a sports court. And that pickleball was very popular. They had a tournament at one point, and the couple that won had matching shirts. So be sure if pickleball is your thing, you've got your proper attire with you. There was a waterworks area, so massive slide. So if you have children with you, they're going to love it, or the first mate did it too. I did not because it was too cold, but you can also see that there's some umbrellas there. Again, unusual and really a nice touch. You saw the sail away party was very busy, but if you want to be on the quiet side, Again, this was something that took us a couple of days to figure out. Is to us, one of the best kept secrets was on deck 11. So deck 10 is the main buffet. That's where the Java Cafe is, and that's where you're going to get your coffee if you like specialty coffee. But if you go upstairs, they really have this wonderful outdoor library ish place. It's quiet most of the time until the activities start. And so I would get up, go get my coffee, and sit here and kind of watch the world go by. So if you're looking more so for like a library-ish place, definitely check out this Best Kept Secret. It's not even called anything. There's a bar up there, but it is deck 11. If you have kids, the kids were bananas for this Dr. Seuss program. So if you bring in the grandkids, this was a repositioning cruise from Orlando to New York, Port of Manhattan. So there weren't that many kids on it, but the kids loved this program. They really were going nuts. And I'd never seen something like this to this extent. So that was interesting and fun. Another nice thing we saw that you don't see on every cruise is they did have a non-smoking casino. So, of course, usually the casinos are just so crowded because it's about the only place you can smoke indoor. So it's nice they had the non-smoking option. It's a little on the small side, but certainly for those who like to gamble but you don't like to smoke, great option. They had many little lounges all over the place, like I had said before, somewhat claustrophobic because they had lots of little lounges instead of one big lounge. So this is one of them. I think this was called Bubbles, and that is an LED screen behind me. But they had at least, I would say, 4 or 5 of these separate bar areas for you to enjoy. Now they could get a little loud once they turned the public music on, but just to have a good seating place, lots of little places to explore. Another nice thing that we found is that this is the Heroes Bar. So, very nice that this is dedicated to those who have served in the military. That's why it's called Heroes. But also important to note, it's the only place that you can watch sporting events. On the Venezia, they did not have sports in the rooms. So, sometimes we go on ships and they've got ESPN or 24, I think that's what it's called, where, like Premier League or NFL play. On the Venezia, the only place to see sports live was at this lounge. So it was, again, small and busy, if you want to. The NBA playoffs were happening during the time. So the bar was always full when the game was going on. Best kept secret number 2 is deck number 5. I have a couple of pictures of that. Again, they have those clamshell loungers, lots of little nice places that were not exclusive to different tier programs. This is what that deck 5 looks like. You could almost make it the entire way around. So there were lots of places to eat, there were lots of places to sit and simply chill outside. And that's what the first mate is doing here at one of those areas. So we got our lunch and then we sat here, or it must have been breakfast because he's got his chocolate milk. First mate always gives thumbs ups to a ship that has chocolate milk. Our smooth sailing tips. So you have the more we were on the ship, the more we liked it, and we wish we'd just known things at the beginning. So hopefully you've seen this, you have discovered these secrets, and you'll have even a better time starting earlier. They have a comedy club. That's a big part of Carnival's brand. We didn't know it. There were comedians all the time, but if that is one of the things you want to do, you must sign up or wait in line for that show early, at least a half hour before you want to go and get in line. I had a picture of it somewhere, but that was surprising that the line was so big. So comedy was very popular, and just get there early so you're not disappointed. They had guest lectures while we were on as well, which were very well done, entertaining. There were lots of activities. There were formal activities, of course, from the activities team, but there were informal activities as well. So, a smooth sailing tip from us is that when you have your exact sailing, go on Facebook and find it and put your dates in. And more than likely, at least one passenger will make a group and that is where you're going to find out about the ducks. And I've joined one for our upcoming cruise, and there was talking about duck exchange, t-shirt exchange, moo and mimosas. So do that, and then you might find your tribe a little earlier than actually before you get on the ship. Another thing that we liked for smooth sailing is they had an outdoor library. I'm standing in front of it. There was just take a book, read a book, put it back, leave other books, nothing formal about that, which I liked. And then watch your planner for the daily restaurant openings. Not everything is opened all day long. I talked about this more in the food video, but just to give you a heads up here is that make sure, especially around lunchtime, take a look at your planner and kind of plan what you want to eat. And we think you'll have a smoother sailing time. Rough water sailing, rough water warnings, only a couple of them. We do like ships that have full walk around decks. Deck 5 is about the closest you can get to walking a full promenade, but at some point you do have to cut through the ship to make it a full circle. So that we don't like that, but there's not many ships these days where that happens. But just so you know, if you're looking for that walk around deck 5 is going to be as close as you're going to get. I'd mentioned this in the other one that comedy was very popular, but not only comedy, the main theater also was very busy, and you want to show up at least 30 minutes before if you want to go to one of, especially the full production show. They are very popular. And then a tip from the food thing, from the food video, and just a food experience, if you're not going to watch that video, is that at night the complimentary dining is very limited. Again, so check out your planner and get your kind of plan for the day. And that was kind of disappointing for us because we don't like to feel like we're being suffering because we're at the buffet. Suffer is a big word when someone's making your food, but just be aware of it. But again, kind of small things in the big picture, but we wanted to share. Those are the things we wish had been different. So I hope this gave you a broad overview of the Venezia. You can look at the deck plans. If you have specific questions, because yes, I could have gone on for an hour about the whole ship, just leave them below. We're happy to answer them, or I'm sure one of our other cruise port captain crew members will answer it for us. Overall, it was a nice experience, a little different than maybe a traditional carnival experience, leaning into the Italian side and the fun side. The crew was great. We enjoyed that for sure. So if this video is helpful to you, please like it. That helps us a lot. And as we're a new channel too, if you found this for the first time, well, welcome. But we thank you and all our subscribers for joining us on our adventures. If you would, help us out and hit subscribe, that would be fantastic. So you can catch up and go on other adventures with us. It costs you nothing, but it means the world to us. We've got resources down in the bottom for you. If you have any questions, we're always open to help you. And we just want you to have the best time possible, learn from our mistakes, and enjoy whatever time you have on ship. I'll see you in the next video. And until then, make life a bon voyage.